the Happy Hour podcast with your host, Joel Fleischman.
Hello, welcome to Joel Fleischman Happy Hour podcast, episode number 57. I have with me a friend of mine, Chris Sabish. Can I call you a friend?
Yeah, I'd call you a friend, Joel.
Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
Also from C.D. Smith. What's your official title there?
Ooh, I actually am representing. I didn't realize that. I would be the senior superintendent of what we call our Projects Plus Special Projects Division. So,
What does that actually mean? That sounds like a lot of nothing. First of all, happy hour.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I would. Prost.
Prost, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Fruit of the Gods, Crew Drive, Central Waters Brewery. Really wonderful, easy drinking beer. Little lager from Central Waters. Thank you for the sponsorship.
Is that like a light pilsner?
Yeah, it's a good drinkable beer.
Oh, I should have had that.
It's like Busch Light with flavor.
So then it's not Busch Light if it has flavor.
Right, it's like a little better Busch Light. I've been saying it's like a little better Busch Light.
Sure.
Awesome. I got another one. You can spare. So how long have you been at C.D. Smith? This one you're gonna really.
That's a really good question.
That's called the Hellas.
It's
That's
either
a Hellas beer. Take a sip.
Hellas?
See if you like it. Yeah.
And where is this made?
Central Waters Brewery in Amherst, Wisconsin. That's my favorite light drinking beer. Besides our in-house horse medicine, of course.
That is like a good tasting beer.
That's not bad,
I'm
right?
I'm not a beer snob, as you can tell.
Right, but you could pound 6 of those back. Like that's not going to fill your gut up and all that
No.
stuff, right?
No, that'd be good.
Okay, so you've been there. You've been 20 what?
25 in August, I think.
And you're a special guy with special projects. But what does that mean?
So what I do is I try to like drum up more business with places that we haven't done business. So I try to meet with.
So you're a
the
salesman.
ground. I would say sales because I came from the field, so I would.
It's because you have field experience with your sales.
But I'm not sales because I actually would run the project too then. So I meet
Okay.
with like every factory has what they call project engineers who run like that certain factory. So I try to meet with them and then get in the door and do some smaller projects with them.
Yeah,
So
like
when the
what do you have
bigger
coming up?
projects come, our foot is in the door and we're ready to rock with them and we have a good relationship.
So even though you're a commercial firm, you are looking for repeatable, long-term customers.
We are looking for great relationships. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So you don't want to do one project with them and get the hell out.
No.
We want to be your full service.
We want to take care of everything, like
small,
you guys.
small, middle, large. If you need a
Right.
problem, we'll solve it. Stay with us.
For sure.
Right. And you will hold those. You personally will take care of those accounts long term.
Right now, yep.
That's your role.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
100%.
And you've been there 20 plus years.
Yep.
How did you start?
I started when
How did you get into the industry?
That's funny. When I got out of high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and A&M Floyd was hiring in town, that local drywall company out of Camp. So I did drywall for
Sam Floyd's dad, Operation
Mike
Coffee.
and Andy Butch.
Yeah. Patches.
I worked for them for 2 years, and then I just kind of wanted more. So then I applied at C.D. Smith, and at that time we were smaller. They were maybe 100 employees, maybe 150 million or somewhere in that. They're way smaller than we are now. And then I just started as a laborer, but I still did a bunch of drywall, which was carpentry work. So I did that for a year. Then I took a carpenter apprenticeship, and then I went to foreman, superintendent, and just worked my way.
So you've done a ton of jobs at C.D. Smith.
Yes.
Backstory, now that you said drywall, I believe there was one time in my life where I borrowed drywall stilts from you. Is that right?
No, I wore drywall stilts for your parade. Remember, I was your Uncle Sam?
Yeah, was it the year before I did it myself?
Was it the year before when I was the pin?
Was it
and
the-
Aaron's angle knocked me down?
Did you get knocked down as the pin?
Yeah, right.
You were the pin? I thought Carrie was the pin.
No,
All right,
I was.
so for everybody listening, there's a July 4th parade in Kewaskum.
Camelsport.
Camel Sport. There's one this weekend in Kewaskum. In Camel Sport, on July 4th, as long as I've been alive, as long as anybody's been alive in this town, very, very traditional, wonderful parade. If you're looking for a small town parade, it's the best there is. We had a mutual friend, Aaron Zengel. He was working for Drexel at the time, I believe.
Yeah, he might have
been.
Yeah.
And apparently Chris was dressed up as a bowling pin, which like blew up, and you got tackled by him during the parade route.
He flat out laid me out like sideways, and it was so full of air I didn't feel it. And there I am laying on the ground.
Cops got involved.
Cops got involved. You got a
Kids
ticket.
were crying, like you
Kids
got a ticket.
Big pin was down.
Yeah.
The old 10 pin got knocked out.
It's like
hard.
having Santa Claus getting
Right.
tackled. You know?
Right.
In Camel Sport. And in Camel Sport on July 4th, it does turn into like Las Vegas. Like
And-
it's open
yes.
intoxicants, Wild Wild West. So I thought it was funny.
It was
A lot of people
on the
think it was
main
funny.
intersection where the parade, the floating got judged. So then the announcer was sitting there.
Might have been, so probably 500 people are watching it. But the streets
It was
were thick.
funny. It was funny.
So anyways, Yeah, I hired Long, this is 20 years ago. So either I hired you to be Uncle Sam.
You were living in the house behind
Okay.
the park, and I don't know.
Oh, that's the year after I was Uncle Sam. So that was right when I got married. So in 1999, I learned how to do drywall stilts, just for the parade. My mom made me an outfit, and I used it up and down Camel Sport, front cover of the Camel Sport News, by the way. So I'm on 3-foot drywall stilts.
Yeah.
I'm not a drywaller. I learned it the week before. I used a big piece of closet pole
For a cane?
to make sure I could get up and down because I'm not comfortable on
No.
it. Yet, I wasn't.
Yeah.
It took me forever, but I made the whole parade route as Uncle Sam. So I'm guessing what happened is the next year, I was like, I'm not fucking doing that.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yes.
And that was the year in year 2000, I believe. Well, it wouldn't have been yet that we were doing all the crazy stuff with the truck pull and whatnot. Maybe the truck pull had just started. I don't think so.
Was the truck pull before the brat?
Yeah, no, same year, exactly. Oh yeah, truck pull.
The truck pull went a couple years, right?
Yeah, that was about 5 years, but we started the truck pull the same year as the brat. That was some
Probably early 2000s.
drunken experience. That was 04.
We're talking about when he gets tackled. Did you have any fears of like this could go really bad on these stilts?
No, I wasn't tackled on the stilts.
No. I'm saying when you were tackled and then you were doing the stilt. Did you ever have coming into that
Like something bad could happen?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I wasn't worried about getting tackled, but I was worried about falling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And I was very hungover.
Which
And it was
made
hot.
easier.
Yeah, and there's people watching you. Yeah. Yeah, like it was like every step I'm like, and again, I'm not a drywaller, so I couldn't run around on.
And you know there was people actually probably silently praying you fall.
Oh yeah, like go down,
God, I
Fleischman.
hope he goes
Go down.
Especially when you got to go down the hills and then
Yeah.
up that hill. That's
Yeah.
a hike. And that,
Yeah, I
that
wasn't
burns the legs.
anticipating all that. Exactly. Like I wasn't anticipating the downhill.
Yeah.
That was a little tricky.
Yeah,
Uphill
lean
was
back.
like a little bit better. But yeah, there was times where I'm like, I don't know if I can keep doing this. And I'm like, shit, we're halfway through the parade route. I got no options.
Yeah.
Just keep walking.
I think I did
Made
it
it through.
I did it once and then
I held the parade up crazy because I was so slow.
I don't think we did it. I don't think you did it after that.
Yeah, we've always changed things up. So this year we'll be having our food truck with a rack on top, and then we're gonna have I believe a candy launcher, like a
T-shirt launcher?
Yeah, it's t-shirt launcher. I was scared of a t-shirt launcher because like that could be angled and take a kid's eye out, but it actually launches the candy like poof. You know, it's like a potato launcher with candy.
So
in it.
I have a Nerf gun.
Right.
It's a dog launching Nerf gun. You know, it's got a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
tennis ball.
yeah.
And you can actually put empty beer cans in, and I launch them into the I shoot them into the garbage.
Wow, what an amazing!
For those-
Definitely really rising up our best guest
Yeah.
list ever.
Well, I was wondering if you could put candy in it and then shoot it out. You know, that's what I was wondering.
Oh yeah.
That way, you know?
That way, right? Or beer cans, or potato. Well, they make potato launchers too.
Yeah.
But again, potatoes. And we're going to get a hot dog launcher. Same thing. I'm like, hot dog launcher again, angled at a kid.
No, that's
Some
fine.
kid gets hurt with a hot dog. Ugh. Puts him in cardiac arrest. Probably not a great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking kid in the face.
Like, let's just launch candy. So that'll be new this year. So that's great. So what is going on at C.D. Smith? Tell me a little bit about your firm. We'll do a little business talk.
It was a firm that started in 1936. So we've been around a long time. We do, I don't know, it fluctuates so much. I would say this year at 700 million, 600, 700, 800, somewhere in about 700 million.
And how many people do you employ?
About 700 field employees, 600 to 700 field employees, and then I think there's 100. I'd say there's probably 100 in the office between Fond du Lac is corporate. Milwaukee, we have an office down in the 3rd Ward in Milwaukee. We have one in Madison, and now we have one in La Crosse. So.
Wow. And how many of those people directly report to you, or you're special?
I don't
special?
have. I
You're
just
solo
myself,
artist.
and then I work with Terry Owens, who's the vice president
Right.
of operations directly. And
Right.
so, but unless they're on the certain jobs, they don't report to me every day. Unless
All commercial jobs.
mainly yes, schools,
Right.
multi-living. Yeah.
How many states?
Boy, 10 maybe. I think we're in Washington yet. We're in Pennsylvania. We're in Omaha, Nebraska.
So, question, right?
Minnesota.
We're a lumber supplier. Probably a lot of people listening to this supply materials to different subcontractors. Really, a subcontract. So, on one commercial job, do you know how many subcontractors there are? Like on one project, is there? I always said 22. Is that right? How many are there? Do you know?
Well, there'd be like, yeah, I mean, you could just, and so you always have your flooring, your drywall, usually.
Yeah, we're not
your
gonna count them
your
all. Like,
ceiling
how many
guys.
are
Yeah,
there?
yeah, you're probably in the 20s.
Yeah. So we're one. So one thing I think Drexel's got to remember: we're one of 22.
Yeah,
So
not even counting suppliers. I mean, I'm talking
Right,
subs on
right.
the job.
No,
and
on that
stuff,
job.
yeah.
So I always said when you're trying to get a project manager's attention, and saying, hey, where are you at with this? Remember, you're one of 22. When he says, I haven't looked at that yet, he's probably being real.
Yeah.
Like he maybe just met with the landscaper and he's trying to decide which type of oak tree to put in.
Yeah.
So he has not looked at your bid or your proposal or is real concerned of what you got going on. But also on the opposite side of that, and tell me if I'm wrong, Chris, what I've kind of learned, when you're on it and you're like, hey, it's Friday at 2 o'clock, I'm looking at your bid, I have a few questions, you're up.
Yeah, you're ready.
Like you're up. Like you got a little window before I go back to the HVAC guy, right? Like, don't be like, well, we'll rebid it in 2 weeks. You're like, no, bro. Like, I got 22 things to do on a $14 million project. You're this big of the pie. Don't give me that bullshit. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say 100. And like everybody else, you have bad days and crabby moments. So, it's upward and onward to the next thing.
Yeah, right. But again, if you don't pick up and I have another bid there, and even if you're my primary supplier, if you have another bid there, I'm just going to call that guy. If he gives me a quick answer, or girl, that might work.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? So you have to have a sense of urgency with commercial guys, even though you're talking big numbers. So so walk me through, right? Like, so some things I'm confused about always. They're not confused that I've learned, but, right? So there's times when you want a budget and there's times when you want a hard bid. What's the difference and what does that mean to us as suppliers?
It's a little bit out of my realm of work, but I can kind of answer that. So a budget would be, let's say, a lot of times we, with just our past bidding history and everything else, before this crazy what's going on now, right?
Right. You know what's
we could do a budget. We can do a budget without asking you. We can throw in budgetary numbers.
350 a square foot based on the last project.
Flooring and this and blah, blah, blah. And we can tell you whatever. If
that's
it's
your job, right?
Square feet, we know what's going to cost.
You can get back to the school board,
yes.
the superintendent.
Here's what we're going to do.
In 7 days because they got a school board meeting.
A hard bid is we want that exact number in front of us so we can give that owner the exact.
So in budget, there's more of a sense of urgency and time.
Yes.
The other one is like, if that takes 2-3 weeks to understand that because we got to get this right. This is go time.
Yeah. A lot of stuff is, I would say, probably budget now just because you don't know the cost of the inflation of everything right now, as you guys know.
Does not have to be a Drexel story. What's one of the coolest things a supplier has ever done for you? Like anybody, HVAC, drywall, electrician.
Like just in general?
Yeah, does there anything that stick out where like that guy made something happen and I always thank him for it or her?
I'll tell you, we got a lot of really good subcontractors.
So maybe here's an easier question as you chew on that one. What drives you? What would mainly drive? Like, what are the key things that drive you nuts every day? Working with
getting told what they know you want to hear, whether it's true or not. Right? I'd rather get the hard.
So not being authentic. Is that a way to say it?
Right. Yeah. Give me the tough answer right away.
Sales
I'll take
talk.
it and let me plan for that tough answer instead of tell me what I want to hear. Planning for the best option, not the worst option, and then replanning because it's the worst
or
option.
let me get back to you.
Yeah.
Like they're just trying to buy time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, 100%. You know the answer. Let's just go.
Yes. Give it to me whether you think I want to hear it or not.
Right. I would assume along those lines, and don't blame others, whatever you do.
Do not.
Right. Don't blame your company. I think that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Don't blame your teammates.
Don't blame
the manufacturer.
Don't blame estimating, right? That's always the one. Oh, it's tied up in estimating. They're so far, no, it's not.
Yeah, or the manufacturer. Yeah. Like, I don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
A, it's wasting time. Yeah. B, you're making yourself look like an idiot. But I think salesmen always try to save face. This isn't on me. And because they think that's going to somehow make them look good. I think that makes them look like shit.
And I think sometimes they think that they're the face of the company.
Right.
Your salesmen are the face of the company. They're they deal with everyone. They have the most touches, right? I would say.
They think
they have the most touches in the industry. So if they look bad, well, next time they come around, well.
Yeah, and I now hate Chris because
he gave me the tough answer, instead of the truth.
Well, again, I think they think they need to look good, where it's like, no, you need to be real.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would say being fake or again, saying things or the opposite, saying things that you don't really know.
Yes.
Right, don't tell me it sounds like about a 25-year warranty.
Yeah, don't overspeak, right? Overspeak, overpromise.
Yeah, we both have problems with that.
Yeah.
I think. All right, cool.
Awesome.
All right, what else is, lead times, a problem for you?
Procurement's a big thing for us on certain things.
Right.
You know how that goes.
Right.
Steel buildings, switch gear, it's all industries.
So if you had to speak to somebody at Drexel and say, this is what C.D. Smith, you're literally looking at
all the
Drexel
right now?
Yes, all the companies. This is what we need from you at Drexel.
What do we need from Drexel?
In a perfect world, like this. You guys are gonna rock. You can get better at this. This is real feedback. You're good at that.
Tell you, I think you guys are really good at coming through with your promises. You know, I really think you guys stand by your word. I'll give you that. Like when you say something's going to be there, it's going to be there, right? Or if you can't get it, you can't get it, right? I mean, I think you guys are really good at that.
What do we suck at? That's way more fun for me. I have plenty of beer.
I'm trying to think.
We have the Jack.
Put me
Daniels
on the
from-
step.
We have the Jack Daniels from last week.
Like what's your worst thing?
What could we like? Okay, so I'm gonna hire you for Drexel,
Okay.
and I'm gonna say, Chris, improve shit. You know, as a customer, you must know what we do right
I
or wrong.
think like over the years, I mean, we've had a relationship with you guys for how many years now? I would say, I don't know, since I've been at Smith. 20, I'd say we've had a really good relationship for at least 10 good years, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think over the last 10 years, we've actually molded to be good partners. Like I know the
Yeah.
safety thing was a big thing in the beginning with your guys, you know, coming on job sites without hard hats or work boots. And
Yeah,
that's
we
all,
didn't even
you know,
understand-
you know
we
what I mean?
didn't
You guys
under- we
didn't
didn't
understand that when you
understand
first
that.
started getting into
We
commercial.
really didn't.
And I think that's all changed. So I honestly think over the last 10 years, you guys have become I mean, I don't know if you have many faults for us. You know, we don't get a lot of daily deliveries. You know, we don't get trusses. We don't get, we're bulk lumber. And it's easy to service that somewhat, right?
Yeah,
You know
but,
what I mean?
But,
And I
well,
think
it is and it isn't, and I'll give a story behind that. Because you can take it for granted,
sure, yes.
right? So it's very hard sometimes with an accountant like yours, because how do we actually? We used to use the word wow, but how do we actually go above and beyond? How do we actually make it happen? And again, sometimes it is. 99% of the time, it is the ultimate boring thing.
Yeah,
Just
I
give
would
it
say
to
that,
me
yeah.
with a good price on time
Yeah,
when I
that's all
want
I
it.
care about.
I don't want any of the other drama. Again, I have 22 things. It's a $14 million project. I don't need a lot of the other bullshit. But within that, there's still got to be thank you for your order, and I really appreciate it. I have a story. This is one of my first dealings with C.D. Smith. You remember Rex Bendrich?
Yeah.
Hi Rex, I'm
I
sure
work
you're.
for Rex.
Hi Rex, I'm sure you're listening.
His boys still work for us, Clint.
Yeah, Clint. Hey, hi Clint. Hi guys. Yeah, I know all those guys very well. Had lots of beers with them. But Rex is probably 70 at this point right now today. It's close.
Yeah, he's got to
65.
be late 60s.
Hell, I'm 48, so yeah, it's got to be. So trusting me, Rex isn't listening. But if you are, hi Rex. I guess he's not a huge YouTube guy.
No, I would say not.
Right. So Rex is a pretty rough guy, awesome dude. He would call me, and we were Campbell Sport Building Supply. Probably had 12 people working there. I still answered the phones for orders. Hey Joel, what's up? Hey, this is Rex. I need I'll never forget it. It was like two 2x4 16s, and it was like 45 miles away, which back then for us was a long delivery. Right. Cool. Got two 2x4 16s. Haven't talked to Rex in a while. Seemed a little weird. Threw him in the back of the truck. Drove him down there. Rex calls me back literally like in 2 hours after I just talked to him, like, hey, Joel, this is Rex. I'm like, oh, shit, how did we screw up two 2x4 16s? Units, Joel, units. If I call you, I need units, not pieces.
Yeah.
We're little Camels for Building Supply. We don't sell shit by the unit, right? Like very rarely. Yes, sir, Rex, I will get them down there right away. Never again. I'm really sorry. So I'll never forget. I'm thinking he's probably at this super huge job site. Has probably 12 carpenters staring at him, right? For some reason, he needs a whole bunch of shit and a good truck. Yep, Camels and Building Supply. They'll be here in 2 hours. We'll get going on this project, boys. Hang in there. Take a break. Go work on that wall. We show up with 2 boards. That's great. I love that story.
That is true.
That's how little I knew about commercial.
You probably didn't have a lot of units in the yard back then, though.
No, I mean, we'd get a truckload in. I mean, that might have took half of our inventory out that
If
day.
no one wanted a 16-foot 2x4.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, we'd substitute. We'd help people out. So, yeah, that was a real thing.
Did you know that
Did you know?
Might have been 99. I was a one-day employee for you on a Friday.
Why and how? Besides Uncle Sam.
Well, no.
I'm sure I paid you in beer. Did you know if I paid you to
don't
be
even,
Uncle Sam?
I don't even know if I got paid. Now it's talk about is you still have my time card on there? So
I'm sure.
we were
Okay.
doing chartered communication buildings. So what those are, in essence, they're just like a big garage with equipment in them. We did them all over. We did one in Rice Lake, and I would go out of town all week, Monday through Thursday. I'd come home.
Pre-marriage.
Fridays.
Is pre-marriage? You were dating Sarah, probably.
Nah, yeah, it might even be
You don't
pre-Sarah. I'm
remember?
not sure.
You
So
you said 1999. What year did you get married?
yeah, good question.
Oh,
04.
hi, Sarah.
04. 04. 'Cause
Not
we
married.
married 18 years. So I was not married.
This
Probably
is
not
bad.
with my wife.
Try to edit that out.
So, and I had like Fridays open. And I don't remember if EB was maybe in the yard then.
Probably Jay.
Somehow, I came in those Fridays, maybe Jay said, hey, can you come in this Friday? We got a bunch of drywall to unload. So I had to run a
you
load of
hung
drywall out by Mr. Bauman.
'Cause you were a
teacher.
drywall.
Yeah, and I helped unload drywall
just
for one
unload
Friday.
drywall.
Yeah, it came in one Friday.
Did we pay you cash or give you a check? You don't remember.
No idea how.
Might have been a cash
I wonder
transaction.
do I still have an employee number here? That's what I'm just wondering.
Yep. You are on.
I got some seniority.
You're on the
cranking.
pension plan.
I
Yeah.
got some seniority.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
You're
a
probably
Friday.
a ESOP owner. You should check into it.
Ooh.
Well, we haven't been ESOP.
Can I get
owner.
HR up here?
HPD, Happy People Department.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, having said that, we talked about good relationships, bad relationships. How are you guys doing recession proof? What's your personal opinion or company opinion of where the economy is going on a commercial level?
For us, we're so fortunate with like the size of jobs we have going on right now that I think if it's a year or two long, we can kind of span that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have like the Wisconsin Center is $400 million in a couple of years. You know, and we have a lot of bigger stuff like that. So we're gonna jump that somehow. I think but I don't think recession's always bad for construction. I think it weeds out your not so good employees. You know what I mean? Like 07, 08, I remember those. You know,
Well,
it got rid of a
I
lot
don't
of
know
employees.
if it's employees, but I call it the weak competitors as well, right? So I mean, there's a lot of people that get in the
For you guys,
industry
yes.
on anywhere in commercial as well, or
Housing,
residential
all that, yes.
remodelers. I mean, we have a tremendously blessed, but I remember in 07, 08, the ones that didn't make it were weak customers, which were tough for us to work with.
Yeah, it levels out the playing field. I think it
Yeah.
gets rid of and
Yeah.
it makes the stronger get stronger and
It does.
the weaker get going.
It
So-
does.
And it's right now it's hard to find employees right now. So if that slows down a little bit to where it's more manageable and you can get everything under control and you can grow at a rate that you want to grow at and not at a rate that you're forced to grow at, I think it's better for
So
everybody.
you said somewhere around 700 employees there.
Yeah.
Yes. So how many open? Do you know roughly how many? If you had an unlimited pool of carpenters, an unlimited pool of positions, how many open positions do you have?
Oh God. I don't know. I don't know.
That's okay.
I mean, we're always looking for good people, right?
Right.
I don't know how many more we could fill. We're all talented, right? Talent is a thing, right?
Yes,
We'd always
right.
take a good talented guy.
Okay. I was tour with your owner and CEO, Justin Smith. I saw your facility, wonderful facility, one of the best in the state of
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
great building.
Beautiful. If you ever get a
Yes.
chance, anybody to go tour it. It's great, and I know you used it a little bit at your in-house. Talk to me a little bit about when I went in there, you had the VR goggles.
Our VR room there?
Yeah, tell me about the VR room. So there's a VR room. Can you explain it to people that like they're 5?
Well, not very. Once again, this is way above me. I'm not a tech
Right,
savvy guy.
but explain
So
like
we do have a
normal-
VR
like,
room.
what does that actually
So
mean?
we have like
What's
it
a-
starts
what's
with our VR department or our
What's a
our
VR
BIM
department?
our
What's
BIM
VR?
department. So they can 3D.
What does BIM and VR mean?
Building.
VR means virtual reality.
Yeah, oh, God, sorry. But we have our BIM guys, Jamie Spartson, they can 3D model any building, right? They can, so off of that, we can give you a 3D tour of your building with those goggles, and it doesn't probably get used near as much as it should, but we do have that capability with our VR room. How long were you in there?
Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Right or soon after it opened. Really cool. So if you do the virtual reality room with an architect or a interior designer for a university, any commercial project, right? Whatever you're doing, a hospital, a hotel, they literally can walk up to the chair in the VR room, touch the chair, grab a new spec of the chair, and switch all the chairs out by touching it.
So you know more about than I do. Justin must have talked to you on that.
Maybe I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah,
That's kind
yeah.
of my thing.
I know it's a neat option. I haven't really dabbled in that, but
So personal question, a lot of people probably don't know this about Mr. Sabish, state champion,
no.
conference,
Yeah.
state runner-up.
Yeah, wrestled that state. Played baseball at state.
Right. So you have some like accolades though. Like how many times were you a
Not many.
conference champion? No, you're like some sort of big wrestling dude.
Yeah, I did all right. I won it once, lost twice in the finals. Third, maybe my freshman year.
State qualifier.
Yep.
1 year,
1 year.
and you went to state.
Lost in third twice. I think I took in sectional, so I would have been today's standards. It would have been 3 times. They changed it on who goes to state.
Right. So state's easier to get to now.
Yes.
Of course it is. Right. That's how we do things in our world now.
Well, right.
So you really
You
were
don't have to
sort of a
work for it. You
3-time
don't
state
have-
qualifier.
It would be today's.
What weight? Did you
Not
go
smaller.
get bigger? Yeah.
I think I was 125 maybe my senior year.
Wow. Did you have to cut weight to get to that point?
Oh God, yeah.
And what year did you go to state in baseball?
96.
With our own Andy Rattler?
No, Rattler would have been gone. Rattler was a senior when I was a sophomore. Andy Rattler would have been gone.
So you made it to state in baseball.
Took second in state baseball.
And won conference that year as well?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Our conference was summer ball. We had no Holstein in there. It was really good too.
Right.
I don't remember if we won conference or second, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And currently you are pretty heavily into girls baseball.
Very.
Is it softball or baseball?
Softball. Fast pitch.
Fast
Softball.
pitch. They don't call it softball. No one that says softball.
I call it softball.
And no one
Probably
in
fast
the no
pitch.
one in the industry calls it softball, do they? Not really.
Probably not. So I should
Fast
maybe call
pitch.
it fast pitch.
Right. So you're pretty into that. You built a shed. You got a
Yeah.
batting cage or something. Fast pitch
Full
cage.
batting cage with a roll of turf underneath.
Right. So and you're into that because of your daughters.
My daughters are big into that.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hi girls.
So, questions on that? You coach?
I helped with varsity this year.
Yes. And how'd you guys do?
7 and 9. A little disappointing year
Right. So in Kewaskum.
in Kewaskum.
So you went from Camel Sport to Kewaskum.
Kewaskum.
Huge rivalry. How's that working out for you?
It took me a long time to say I live in Kewaskum.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
So you wear the green and gold.
I do wear the green. I waited till my daughter was in high school to wear the green and gold.
I would never-
I could not put it on until my daughter
Till
was
high school? High
Because
school
I
you
just
find
kept
it-
saying that it went to Farmington, not Kewaskum.
Yeah, I know.
Then it went to Kewaskum.
I could not wear Cougar colors, blue and yellow, and be
You
a
wouldn't
Cougar.
look good in blue and yellow.
Oh,
That'd be hard.
that's tough. You know, I coach youth basketball.
Yeah.
You know, and most practices when we end, and this is starting in second and third grade, you know what we say at the end?
Beat Camel Sport.
1, 2, 3, beat Camel Sport.
I think my brother told me that.
Yes, your brother did. Let's talk about a little about your family, like a little
Okay.
personal, because you have an awesome family. I know most of them. I think probably not. Where'd you grow up?
Right out of town, right over by Elmore.
I know these questions,
Yeah.
but we'll ask a
Yeah.
question. So what's it called?
Right over in Elmore, right by
Elmore.
Elmore. Yeah.
So
South, between Camel Sport and St.
So let's explain. Let's explain Elmore.
Oh, that's a good one. Elmore is
Unincorporated.
unincorporated.
Town of?
Ashford, if I recall.
No. Like how many people live there?
Oh God.
Population of Elmore.
I don't know if there's. That's a good 100. Nah, 50. I don't know.
Is
60?
all of Lake Manise considered Elmore? Or
Well,
is that
it
like
is.
South
See,
Elmore?
that's a big argument with.
Would the Sandpiper be Elmore?
Yes, I believe it is because if you come from where Kellers live and you go down the hill there's a sign that says Elmore.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
when you turn off a W, there's a sign that says Elmore. So I think that whole area.
Drop Anchor Inn, is that Elmore? You would prefer not to call it
Yeah.
Elmore. I would
well,
prefer
it's not
Elmore.
even. It's not even dropping.
Is it open
Or
still?
it? No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Maybe we'll go after
But when I
this.
was a kid, there was always 2 bars in Elmore. you
Two
know?
bars in Elmore.
Sign Vise, and then you had the Weaver Inn. So I lived right between.
But 3 with the Supper Club of Sandpiper. So
exactly.
you had 3 liquor licenses
3 liquor licenses
for a town of
in-
100 people.
Well, if it goes down there, there's probably more than 100, right? Maybe.
150.
Yeah.
A few vacation homes around
Yeah,
Lake Manise.
yeah. Only used in the winter.
Yeah, it's a very, very murky,
a
muddy
very-
lake. Scott's good fish, but it's
Yeah,
very weedy.
early ice
Weediest
there
lake I
was-
know of.
Easily. It's like
Easily.
a river that just gets a little wide with a dam.
Yeah, but it's for some reason it has a very, very hard weed problem.
They always catch good northern out there in early ice. I remember
Beautiful
that's what
northern.
they always say.
Yeah, no,
Never was a
there's
fish.
nice fish in there.
We actually used to jump off the bridge and the dam as a kid.
That
I'll
was-
take
so
my
how many
kids-
how many people are in your family?
I have 5 brothers and sisters.
Okay. And twins?
Set of twins are my youngest brothers.
Yes. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hey, twins.
Great. So that's it. Is there? I think we're gonna go right to our last question.
What is it? Is that the Billboard one?
Yeah. So I always ask everybody the same thing when they come on. You have one billboard. Anything you want on it.
Okay.
Before we get to that, we'll go back to the youth coaching. So what is like your mantra in youth coaching? What do you preach to them constantly?
Well, I'll tell you.
What's your go-to?
That has changed over the years.
Your personal mantra or coaching?
My personal coaching has changed.
Yeah, explain.
Big time. I would say
You're
when my oldest daughter Macy was younger.
and
I
she's in
want-
what grade now?
Freshman.
Right. So you're talking 7 years ago when she was
Yeah.
in third, fourth grade.
I would say I wanted to win more. You know what I mean? And now when my youngest daughter is Madden is going into 7th, and I started coaching her again this year. After going through that whole high school cycle, I realized it's way more about developing, right? Way more about keeping kids interested in going out for sports and developing at the youth age and then winning at the high school age, right? Especially for the rec stuff that I'm coaching right now. If you want to win more, then I think you go to your club ball sports, right? I think that's what that's about. Unless you are doing local club, which is still about.
And even to me, national club, regional club, it's still about developing.
The kids have developed.
I tell everybody that I tell everyone that I coach, and I've come a long ways as well. and any young coach, please listen to this. This is super important. I coach my kids in baseball till they were 11 or 12. They don't even remember me coaching them. Like, you think these games are important, you think this is going to be, it's not important at all. They don't even remember. They don't care. You won't remember a 7th grade championship, but you will remember if they play in high school and if they're good at high school. I'm developing kids to be good at high school. I'm not developing them to be good at college. I think there's so few kids that actually play in college. Now, there's a lot of kids that, and I hate to say it, pay and play.
Yes.
And that's okay. Used to coach at Marion, Marcus. If you want to play in college, that's
Marcus
okay.
coached basketball or?
Coach basketball, coach tennis,
Yeah. So again, I have nothing wrong with a small D3 level college, but you're paying to play there. You're enjoying that process. That's okay. I'm totally good with that, but that's not my concern because you're not going to have many crowds. Maybe mom and dad are going to come watch. Top D1 talent is going to be unicorn, once in a century. Yes. I've seen Billy Shrout. Hi, Billy, going to Notre Dame. I knew that dude was potentially D1, first time I saw him. And that was in basketball. He was 4th grade, could dribble left or right-handed, could finish well, was 70 pounds bigger than any guy on the court. Like, he continued that throughout his career. Very, very hard worker. Few things that I would say, I think you're going to agree with. You have to be given with some God-given talent.
Oh, yes.
I actually think one of my biggest frustrations, and I don't know how to get away from it, but it's Santa Claus. Work hard and you'll hit your dreams. I used to kind of say that, right? You just need to work hard. No, you can work as hard as you want. God did not make you able to dribble a basketball, throw a baseball.
I hate to say that because you don't want kids to ever give up and not work hard, but
I would say
it gets you so far. Right?
I want to bring you all the way to your best potential.
Yeah.
I'll take you as far as you personally God made you. And I do talk to the kids, like, some of you are really good at math. Keep going with that. Yeah. Some of you are so good on the team being a communicator. Keep going with that. I'll take the kids as far as I can take them, but that's about it. And yeah, it's all about development. And at some level, it's all about having fun. Like, I coached baseball. I remember one parent just screaming at me, which was like in 5th grade, because I played a kid that probably shouldn't have been pitching, and we lost.
No.
And I literally said to him, but this kid's never going to play in high school, but he might remember pitching this game. Like, that's okay.
And they didn't care.
No, not at the time. Maybe now, again, having perspective, it's all about perspective. In fact, hi, Jake Young, if you're listening. I just literally...
Jake was the one yelling at you?
No, I literally just chewed Jake Young's ass out, kind of. So there's a huge parade in Kewaskum for the 125th year. And Jake is going to help out with, and love you, Jake, and we're going to be in the parade as Drexel, and Jake said I'd help coordinate the little food truck, right? And I said, Jake, how's the parade coming? He goes, good, I can't be there. I got a baseball game that morning. His kids are in rubber ball or t-ball. Yeah. I got a baseball game Sunday morning. We can't be at the parade. I said, Jake, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'm going to tell you what to do. You go and cancel that game. Or at least don't coach it.
Yeah.
They're never going to remember a Sunday morning game. At the worst, reschedule it. I just cancel it. Nobody cares.
Right.
Or reschedule it. Yeah. It's the 125th parade. We're never going to have a parade like this again in Kewaskum. You personally will remember it the rest of your life. Good chance your kids will. It's going to be a great experience. He's like, well, we could still make it. I said, yeah, and then young moms and young dads are going to be super stressed out and try to juggle both, and you're not going to enjoy either one anyway. Just close it down. No one's going to give two shits. And I can tell he was all, at the second he was all jacked up. Like, you don't get it, right? We had 3 practices this week, and we got a tournament next weekend. I'm thinking in his brain. And I was there. You were there.
Yeah, right? I was there. Yeah.
And it's funny, now we're old and wise, and it's like, just shut that shit down. And you know what? I give Jake, I give you a lot of credit. I just ran into him. He said, you know what? I'll be there.
Everyone's going to have that there moment, right? Like when did it hit you and be like, that was really stupid? You know what I mean? Like what I just did for the last 6 years, or how I coached, or how I did something, was like, you're going to look back like, that was really
There's a couple of moments that happened to me. I mean, my son Jackson played high school basketball, and realizing the kids I coached in 8th grade even, and this is little Kewaskum D3. Yeah. You know, the top 4 or 5 players, top 6 maybe, didn't even play senior year, right? They didn't even play. And that was just in 8th grade. That wasn't even in 4th grade. But like in 4th grade, 5 or 7 of the top players never came out. So either we lost them because they didn't love it, or it just didn't end up being very good at it because they didn't practice it. And the kids that stayed with it got it and loved it. And you know what? That doesn't even matter. So the more I kept looking at it, the more I was like, you got to be naturally talented. you got to just have fun doing it. You got to keep developing. And again, all them winning and stuff and playing your best kids at 6th grade to win the game, that kid might not be on the court senior year.
Was any of the kids, did they go back and like specialize in just football? Did that happen to any of those kids?
No, we really
None?
never lost anybody to
'Cause I
specialization.
think that happens.
We never lost. It can happen, but
Yeah.
again, that's probably their passion, and that's
Right.
okay. But no, I mean, they just developed, right? I mean, this is a lot is based on puberty.
Yeah, when kids.
I mean,
were-
I was this big at 8th grade. I was an absolute stud.
Well, still are.
Absolutely.
In your
But
own-
I was a bigger stud than even I am now.
That's
but,
possible.
but I mean, I see a lot of kids' skills erode because those 8th grade kids that are so big and talented because of puberty, they don't believe they've never had to work hard in their life. They end up kind of falling on their face. The kids that are 5'1" and 90 pounds freshman year lose all their confidence, and I'm not going out. Like, treat them all the same, keep grinding, keep having fun. And to me, why I still coach, it has to be about life skills. It has to be about God in their life. It has to be about making boys better men. And I know a million coaches say that. Like, I fucking believe that. Like, because basketball is going to end. And even if, I haven't even said, all these moms, I don't think believe that. Like, this shit's going to end.
Yeah.
And it either ends in 12th grade or it ends in grade 16. Like, you're not playing forever. Like, it's just going to end, and no one's going to give a shit. And 25 years later, we're talking about being sectional champs, and who cares? And again, I think one thing for me, I realized I could talk about basketball all day with you.
Yeah.
You could give 2 shits.
Yeah, but I like it.
No, but I'm just saying, you could talk about fast pitch all day. I don't care. So, like, the percentage of people that care about your little sport and your little town is so fucking small. Like, we lost a basketball game this year to somebody, and I'm like, it was actually a player, Diesel. Shout out to Diesel. Probably the best basketball player ever played in Kewaskum. I've coached him since 5th grade, love him like a son. Not because he's good at basketball, because he's always worked his ass off. And he's just a good dude. And we were texting, and he was really shaken up about a loss. I said, you know who cares that we lost? I said, me, you, maybe a couple other dudes on your team. Not all of them.
Yeah.
And maybe your coach. Maybe he didn't even really care that much. I'm sure it kind of broke his heart. So we're talking maybe a couple parents, not a lot. Not a lot of them are into it. So you're talking like 15 people out of 7.7 billion. Maybe we should just go to bed now and quit texting. So that was kind of my. Did you have a realization moment?
Yeah, I think I can go back to when Macy was probably in like 3rd grade, and we struggled early on, and me and a couple of the other coaches, and we set goals of when we get to 8th grade, we wanted to go undefeated 8th grade year in rec. That was the goal.
Marcus, does that sound funny? But
yeah,
yes.
we wanted to get
There's
the girls.
a million of
We
youth
wanted to
coaches
get the
thinking
girls that much better.
Yeah.
To improve that much, improve. Where they
And you just think
Yeah.
you think they're clay. You literally think
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah, we wanted.
But again,
improve.
even young coaches, they still have that in the brain.
Yeah.
You work hard, we can fix this. Like,
3rd grade, we won a game or 2. That was it. So then, and we played the same girls every year.
yeah,
And we just said we're just gonna get better and better every year. In 8th grade, we want to be undefeated. 8th grade, what happens? We're undefeated. We get done. We have some beers. I wake up the next day with a foggy head, and I'm like, well, that's over.
yeah.
What was the point of that?
3,000 hours, lots of
Tons.
brain
I
thought,
mean,
yeah.
so and it was great. We
Again,
were defeated, but I just
and
wonder.
I'll go back to again. Who cared?
Right. Well,
The
not
group
even
of coaches.
But I wonder if
Did the
that
girls
was-
even care?
If that wasn't a goal, I think
Yeah.
the girls cared. But if that wasn't,
But
a
again,
goal,
did they really
would I
care?
have done things different though?
Yeah.
Well, maybe did I do things not the
To
right
win.
way
Right.
through the years? And that was my shit moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And in basketball, it is just dribbling and shooting.
Well, that's like, I actually had the same conversation as everyone. You said that with a friend last night, that, when I was coaching, again, Division III basketball, but it was my full-time job, and you'd lose a close one, and you just, the whole next 24 hours, you're wrecked. Then you get out of it, and you're like, yeah, outside of the 2 teams, the parents, the 250 people that were in the stands, and a couple of alums, who cares?
But,
the kids don't
and then I'll even spin it back. So the 250 people in the stands, a bunch of them were girlfriends. They don't give 2 shits,
No.
except that their boyfriend's sad, right? They don't, so they don't care at all, primarily,
Yeah.
right? Bunch of them are just their drunken roommates that don't care. Maybe happy they lost because like fuck him, he's an idiot. Yeah, like woo, whatever, you guys lost, right? Parents,
Pick on you all week.
right? Like how many of them actually care? They get in their car and they're like, well, Tuesday night, what are you gonna do, right?
Fun
Again, they're
stuff,
sad their son's last. So again, break down who actually cares. Does the kid, even on the own team, does the kid at the end of the bench actually care?
I think so. For
Maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, did he care as much as you as like losing sleep?
No, not to that level.
Sometimes
I
the
mean-
kid farthest away from the coach cares the most.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
But there definitely are kids within that middle range, maybe under the bench in the middle going, yeah, we lost. I don't play a lot anyway.
Shit, I hope I don't even
Shit
get in
happens.
the game. Right? Don't even put me in the game, coach.
Yeah, I'm not that super.
I'm just here 'cause Mom wants me, yeah.
Even in slower level college,
You're
I'm
in.
super competitive, but I didn't play that much. I'm not that vested.
Yep.
Right. So I
Sure.
mean, so now you can really shrink that pool down.
Yeah. Yeah, but even, again, youth coaching, right? You lose something and you feel like, in some ways, you're coaching the Badgers.
Yeah.
But you step back and you're like, wait a minute. No.
Well, you think it's a reflection on you, right? At some point when
Yeah.
when you first start, like, man, it's a reflection. I mean, these parents are gonna be mad
Yeah.
at me, and they're that, and the kid didn't play here, and the kid
It's
didn't play
ego.
here, and it's like, and at the end of the day, it's like, well, I give a shit if they're mad at me. I'm
Well-
going to volunteer my time too.
I think a relation for me is, and obviously I talk a lot. I remember having a beer or something with like people that were outside my little circle.
Yeah.
And the whole week I've just been wrapped up about getting first place or winning this game or whatever. And I'm just like going off. And I can just tell they're like literally absolutely punched out.
This guy's
They're like,
nuts.
Are you still talking about youth basketball? Like it's been 10 minutes, bro. Can we, anything else in your world? You're like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I got to get better, right? Because there's so much more to life. Please. All right, now we are definitely
Okay.
at that time. So you got one big giant billboard.
One big giant billboard.
Yep. You put anything you want on it. Tons of people are going to see it. You don't got to pay anything for it. What's on it and why?
What I would put now, goes back a little bit. So where I live.
In Elmore?
No, I live now. I live on Boltonville Road, which is between Fillmore and Boltonville. So where I live and where Evie lives, guys.
Is that like
you know
considered?
Evie.
Are you like downtown Farmington?
We call it Billmore.
Right. So literally, how I grew up, I always thought there was a town called Farmington.
Which is
Like I always would look for Farmington, which then I would stumble into Fillmore. I'm like, well, this isn't Farmington. Why did they call Fillmore Farmington? There is no Fillmore. That's
There-
the township of
the
Farmington.
township of Farmington.
But there's actually no but growing up in Kewaskum, I always thought there was a Farmington. There's actually not.
Yeah,
but you're like the
school is
epicenter.
Farmington Elementary.
Right. I didn't even know
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed. But then I always go to Fillmore. I'm like, well, what the hell? This isn't Farmington. This is Fillmore. And Fillmore has this population 200,
Yeah.
250, whatever.
So
You're
for
rural.
years, me and Evie, you guys all know Evie.
Hi, Evie.
Hi.
EB does listen. Hello, EB.
He does?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
This might be the most shout-outs we've given on.
Yeah, it's a lot. Well,
So-
Sabish is very popular.
For years, we're probably 3 houses away. And when we get together, we're drinking beer and probably getting our wives a little upset. One thing we like to do is annoy the shit out of just our neighboring friends, Jay and Bruce and blah, blah, blah. So we come up with
You
all
kind of have
this.
a rat pack. Do you have a name for your rat pack?
I don't think so. We come up with one. Small, minor.
Boltonville Mafia.
Yeah, maybe,
Word mafia is always good when you have a group of friends.
So we came up with Billmore. My driveway to EB's driveway is Billmore. Blah, blah, blah. And that's how we piss everybody off
Yeah.
with our casual burnings and whatever else we call. So I'd probably put a billboard right by my house that says "Welcome to Billmore," just to annoy the shit out of my other friends.
Then why don't you do that?
It's actually a good idea. I mean,
Like it green and white?
yeah, all it needs is probably like a
incorporated?
4x8 piece of plywood.
No, I would literally make it like a village sign. You make it green
Well,
on the
we've
backboard,
talked about that.
white
with
lightage.
I mean, the population is, if I got 4.
Yeah, you don't make it unincorporated. You go with a population.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If we're including Frank, it's 12, which then there's, I think, the fellowship.
If you don't get that done, I might get that done for you. Like
No,
you just go to a sign
we'll
shop.
have to. We're in the process.
You just go to a sign shop and get that done.
we do a lot of.
Okay, so you guys do a lot of shenanigans,
Yeah,
pranks,
oh, yeah.
traditions.
Yeah.
I know about the water slide stuff. So we'll explore the billboard thing a little bit more. I mean, that one's deep. That's one of the
The
deep
water
ones.
slide like in my backyard. What I do?
Yeah, like what of all the Billboard traditions you have, what's one of the stories you can tell? What do you do traditionally, or what's a good Billmore story? What's like one of the funny
Did
things
you
with
do
your
you know the
backpack?
Christmas decorations that I did at EB?
Well,
last
they
year?
all don't.
So
I don't either. I don't know if I do.
me and Evie go back and forth.
I don't really listen to Billmore
We
stories.
go
They just
back.
kinda,
We go back and forth. Yeah, and it's probably better that way, to be honest, because most of them are just to amuse me and him.
Okay.
So we go back and forth, just messing with. We've done stuff to EB where him and Misty went away. Like they went away on a motorcycle trip, and at that time Misty was watching like Bruce's kids and blah blah. And Bruce was always like, "Well, concrete your driveway, this and that." And EB would always talk about getting a new boat. So he actually came home to an old canoe on a hay running gear that didn't turn, and we had all these chunks of concrete in his driveway, and he couldn't even get in his. I mean, so we do stuff like that, which that has come to a real great pause, which it needed to. So
it was escalating too
Yeah,
badly.
at
Didn't you like
Christmas-
move somebody's furniture out once or something?
yeah, we've done some. Put up-
So this is so give me
This is like last year.
What was the one that broke the straw that you don't do it anymore?
Well,
Is
this was
one?
that was probably the one, but then last year he would always brag about his Christmas lights, and he would really have like one strand of 15 lights on the front of his house. You know, he thought he was Clark Griswold because it probably took him all day to put that strand up, you know. And so then I went and took a picture of his house, and I got 2 signs made up: Billboard Christmas decorations, first place and second place. Well, I put that sign second place in front of his house, took a picture, and we had Friendsmas, so them guys would come down on Christmas Day Eve, you know, that night, and I had that right in the paper. Congratulations on second place, Billboard Christmas.
Like you asked him
And I put it in
statesman.
a statesman, and then I was saying it on my fridge when he came down. He had the
That's
sign in
pretty
his front yard. Yeah, I thought it was all right.
That's a good one. I like
that was
that.
the last one we. And then he stole the signs. And it was ongoing. He thought he was a ninja and crawled up my hill and stole the signs.
I think newspaper pranking is not done enough
no,
generally because you can do a lot in a paper. Like I always thought.
It's got to be
I did it-
harmless, though.
I did that once in college. Was a Oshkosh Titan. I put it was like in the ad section. I just did some bullshit thing, and it was my buddies. We weren't pre-cell phone with their apartment number. It was like car for sale or something. It was like way too cheap. Kind of gave some.
Yeah, didn't you guys like put it on a gas station with all the pull?
Yeah, we did do I did do that once in college. I did the pull thing, and I forgot what it was for, but it was something horrible. I think it was like Date Me, maybe.
With one of your buddies.
It was one of my buddy's pictures, yeah, and his number on it. Yeah, they cut them all off. Yeah, and then but you rip 3 off, like 3 already gone. So when he sees it, he's like, "No way."
I say it's probably still hanging there. No one took one.
Yeah, maybe. Well, he got married. He's probably fine. Well, that's it, my friend. Anything else you want to add?
No, thanks for having me. That was enjoyable. I
That was
appreciate
great.
it.
Thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Peace. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.